What's going on, guys? I wanted to jump on real quick and talk about something real quick. I was working this morning. I'm actually sitting here in Las Vegas for the week. I'm finishing up some side tracks before I go to the production music conference, and I'll tell you why I do that in a minute. And then something came to mind I wanted to talk about, and I think it's something you guys need to realize if you're gonna go to any conferences to benefit your music career, no matter whether it's a singer-songwriter conference, whether it's the taxi, road rally conference, in person, not this year, they're doing a virtual thing, or the production music conference that I go to with the Production Music Association each year, or whether you go to an ASCAP rally or a BMI or any of these rallies. There's two important things that you need to do, and it's very important you do this, and I'm serious about it. I don't know about this year, but I know the last 3 or 4 years, not last year, but prior to that, it was the 3 or 4 conferences that I attended. I can tell you that I was just blown away to the amount of people who didn't even have business cards with them. They didn't. That's number one. Make sure you have a really good business card. I've got one, and it's two-sided. I mean, I would really make a really nice business card. It's worth it to have, a good gloss and something. I wouldn't go spend a fortune, but hey, I did mine on what's that web page? It does all the business cards and stuff. My mind went blank, but you know what I'm talking about. There's an online site that's very popular where I order mine from, and I think they make great business cards. Very cheap. You can get a couple of boxes of for next to nothing. Even when you do two-sided, you put your picture on the back and a little brief, not your life story, but a brief description about you, like your experience and what your expertise is. In fact, I might change mine a little bit. It's a little bit better. I need to update the count of how many tracks I have published and various other things, but that's a side point. That has nothing to do with why I'm on here. But anyway, have your business card. I mean, don't go to a conference and not have a business card. You wouldn't believe the people that walk away. Some of these publishers, whether it be music supervisors or anybody in the industry that's interested in music, that would probably go, "Why do you have a business card?" There's, they will size you up based on how you carry yourself and what you bring to the table. They're going to size you up for this, and I hate to break it to you, but it's the truth. They're going to size you up for these things. Number 2, it astonishes me and just amazes me altogether as to how many people go to these conferences and they don't have a side pile of music somewhere, some songs, because people ask what you do best. Now, mind you, I'm going this year with one genre. I'm best at 2. A lot of rock, like the heavier stuff, the commercial corporate rock, and then underscore. Those 2 are my top 2. They're fighting each other because I do a ton of tension underscore and a lot of different types of underscore. But I'm going this year with 30. Yes, you heard it. 30 tracks of underscore that I'll have to decide. I'll have packaged up in a zip folder or a link to on SoundCloud or however they want it. I'll make sure that they get it. That's just the 2 top most popular ways that a lot of these publishers and music supervisors want to hear material. I'm amazed at how many want a SoundCloud playlist. It used to be SoundCloud's not all that stable. We don't want to hear that because of the ads and all that, but they want it. If you give them the proper link to that playlist and you customize that playlist to them, put their name on that playlist and it's addressed to them, that actually looks better. They know you sent it specifically for them. Do that. But I'm amazed. You've got to have music set aside, because if you give them the card and you say, can I hear some of what you do? This is a part of, one, be honest with these people. Don't BS them. Don't tell them whatever you do. I don't care if you can do every genre. Don't tell them you do every genre. Don't do it. I've said that 1,000,000 times. Don't tell them you do every genre. Tell them what you're the best at, because everything else you do for them, you're that much more valuable if they ask you for it. And they're going to. In other words, you get with a publisher. I have publishers that send me briefs for genres I don't do. I have to email back, because some of them will ask me, "Hey, just let me know if you can't do the brief so we can have a gauge of who's doing it." And that's okay. There's no shame in that. They want to probably know what your genres are, but they're still going to send you those briefs, and that's cool to do because you might be good at that genre and you might can do it, or you might not. You might not want to, and that's okay. They know this already. They know it. Don't BS these people. Don't do it. I've said that a million times. They're human. Be yourself. But then you're in position to say, hey, how do you want it? You want a link to a SoundCloud playlist or something else, or do you want a zip file? I'll get you whatever you need. I've got 30 tracks on the side of tension underscore. And they might go, just sitting there? Yeah. I bring it to the table when I come to this conference. I had 15, 20 tracks in 2019. And a publisher looked at me and goes, I never hear anybody tell me they've got music waiting to be signed. Never. That genre, it was tension music at the time, he wasn't looking for. But he's like, dude, that is a valuable thing to do. People just don't have any music, and then I don't hear from them again. Which leads to the third point, which I had only two, is don't tell them you send them music and not send them music. Don't do that. Don't say, hey, I'll send you some music and just not send them music. If you tell these people you're going to send them something, you do it. Do it, man. Because you have no idea how much either they're going to remember or they're waiting on it, and they may not care. And that's okay, because you're going to get a few people, and I've mentioned this before at these conferences, that are, walking around with that chip, and you send them music and they ghost you, and they don't care. It's happened to me. You just go, well, don't need him. Because whether you believe it or not, those people need you just as much as you need them, and maybe more. They just want to make you think that, yeah, you need me, or you're not good enough, or whatever. You don't need to work with people that don't want to connect with you, don't want to be human with you. Same as you need to be human with them, because they will not work with you if you aren't as well. Be yourself. We're all human. We are human, man. We're all working around doing our own thing. Best example is not even an hour ago. I'm walking out of Panera between Chick-fil-A and all that here in Vegas, and here comes Carrot Top walking through, wearing some strange boots and a strange shirt. I mean, you can't miss him. He's strange. I just said, hey, man, I didn't want to bother him. Fist bumped him. How you doing, man? Doing good, yeah. Good to see you. And he kept on going. I guess he had to be somewhere. But he's human. He's out doing his own thing. You don't try to impress somebody to make them think something that you're not, because eventually they know. You have social media. They can see you on the internet. It's not hard. Just be yourself. I say that and I press upon it because I see it at these conferences. I see people just blowing smoke, and I sit at these round tables, and it just, and I can look at these guys, man. Some of them are music supervisors and the biggest composers in the industry. And it happened one time in a round table with two guys that do all the music supervision and a lot of composition. They pull music for like Best Buy and Apple and Mercedes, a lot of these ads, these big companies, man. But they pull from their ad agencies of these companies, are who they pull from. These big ones like Saatchi and Saatchi and these guys, these big ad agencies that throw big money at the table. And they've heard it all before. They can smell that BS from a mile away. They're very hardcore. They'll get to the point with you quick. Because when I first met them, they were like, so what do you do? What do you do? And that, what do you do is what do you do best? Tell them. Don't tell them you do everything, whatever you do. Because the first piece of advice they're going to tell you is what, and I'll tell you who it was a guy named David Groh. Look him up. He is one of the biggest guys in the industry when it comes to advertising, music and stuff, and various other things. He's a very talented composer. He just said, you need to stick to doing what you are best at and hit it home, man. Don't stop doing it. Do the most of that. Even if you can do other genres, do not quit and do the most of what you're the best at. And I had heard that before, but to hear it from him, because this is a guy that has a specialty. And it boils down to the one thing that I've heard said before, and Dave Croft even said this too, and I've mentioned Dave, and I misspelled his last name in the last video. Follow him on YouTube and get on his Patreon. It's like $1 a month. You can watch him compose. He's so talented. Such a great guy. I love him to death. But he said, you can be the jack of all trades, but you'll be the master of none if you try to conquer every genre. And if you don't focus in on what you're the best at. Everybody's got their forte. That's what makes us all different. You can look at one composer and go, God, how does he do it? I'd like to be like him. But you're not going to do everything exactly like him. So don't try to be like him. Be yourself. That's the same thing as I said, that not every publisher is going to work for you. I see so many people getting on these Facebook groups and these boards going, man, what's some of the publishers, recommend publishers that get placements or that I can sign with. They can send you as publishers all day long. They may not work for you. You may, the two of you, best example I made a long time ago is the two of you may do tension music, but you do a different type of tension than he does. And that your tension may not work like his tension does for that publisher, because certain publishers will only take certain tension music. Certain publishers take all tension music. I work for one now. He is about tension and horror, but he'll take rock. But as long as it has a little edge to it. And I think he's going to be expanding as time goes on. But it's a great publisher. I love working with him. But he specializes in tension and horror music and stuff. A really great guy. But the thing is you find the publishers that work best for you and your music. And you will get it when you go to these conferences. I'm telling you, I've said it. I know it's kind of like, he said this a million times before. I know I did. But it's helped my career. It really has. And if I said it in the last video or one before, if I can turn the camera on and talk a little bit, I will. As I'm there, I'm not sure what I can do. This year's conference is going to be a little bit different. There's some in-person and there's some virtual stuff and lots of outdoor stuff. And I don't know how it's going to go. It's going to be a little touch and go. We'll see. You never know. I don't even know how many people are going to be there. But I will tell you, in the last 4 to 5 conferences I've been to, I can't count them, I can't remember. I'm telling you right now, it's the biggest music supervisors in this industry are at these conferences. And I'm telling you, you get FaceTime with you. You can sit at round tables. You can see them on their panels. You walk up to them and say, hey, how you doing? They got little cocktail hours in the evenings. Or little sitting around, they're getting coffee and you see them. You read it on their badge, who they are. And if you make an effort to know who these music supervisors are, you know, I'm not telling you it's because you meet them in person, you can hook up with them and send them music and you're aiming like Flynn with them. It's not that easy. These music supervisors, I've said it before, I'll say it again, and some people argue with me, but you're completely wrong if you argue with me on this point. They are very hard to connect with for one reason. It's called liability. These guys have errors in emissions insurance. Music libraries have them. And that insurance company's only going to cover you but so many times before they drop you. It can ruin your career. They don't want their career ruined. But they can ruin the careers of the people that they are working for in the film and TV industry and these ad agencies. They can kill them, kill their business for that liability. They deal with trusted sources for a reason. Now, I'm not saying you can't become a trusted source, because you can. It takes time. But if you do one thing when you meet these supervisors, and I'm going to do more of it when I go to this conference, because it's become more and more apparent to me that I haven't sat down and really just talked to these guys enough. I've talked to a few of them, but not in the way that I should have. And I'll be the first to admit it. Is that ask them, you know, as much as you'd love to be able to send them music and you understand they deal with trusted sources. These guys get hit every day and they cannot keep up with all these emails. And some of it, they can't get the links to come up, the music isn't there, or it's just the emails are bad and they can't read them. It's just a very arrogant emails and people that just don't understand this business. They don't know how to professionally approach somebody. Is ask them this one question. Ask them, can you give me some places of where you pull your music from? Where do you search for your music? For one, I would love to make sure I have my music there if they take it. I want to be there, because if you would consider me a trusted source, you see me in this publisher that you pull music from, and you may have pulled my music before. You may be inclined to pull my music. They appreciate that. They appreciate that you understand those things. So keep that in mind. Please do. I could go on all day, but we'll talk later on that. I just want to get on and touch on those 2 or 3 points, and I want you to kind of be thinking about that. You know, I'm not the be-all, end-all, but I've been in this business a while. I've learned some things. I understand. I've seen this. I've sat at tables with these people, and I've heard it and I've seen it. And I can tell you about first hand. Just a lot of us, you got to learn this business and understand. I hate to put it this way, but you got to calm down and just kind of be yourself and just be straight, be honest, be straightforward. Who gives a damn? I said this before, if you work a day job, they don't care about that. They don't give a damn. I bet you half to 3/4 of the composers that go to this conference do other things for a living. They do stuff on the side. They have their own businesses, but they do music for TV, and they're very talented at it. And that's okay. There's no rule that says you have to, you can't. Doesn't matter. So anyway, I hope that helps you. I really do. And if I can get the camera on here this next week, I will. And hopefully I can get on more and start talking about more. I said in one video, I think the video for last, I want to try to get on and do some more live composing, but I've got to hone in on trying to work on screen capture software better and try to maybe, I think it's input of camera and some things. I'm using the camera on my laptop and it's interfering. Maybe I need to outsource the camera and then try to feed it in, on that deal. We'll figure it out. I'm not a video editor and I'm not a pro at that thing, but I can get better at it like everything else. Thank you so much. Be cool. And thank you so much again for watching. I know I've said this a bunch of times. I do appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one. Be cool. Bye.